Hey guys, it's Tiffany, and you found me on the Wise Skies channel. Today, I'm going to be talking about our Q2 astrology. So the astrology forecast for April, May, and June of 2023. I'm going to start by giving you the broad overview, some important dates to watch, because I know that's really important to you. I'm going to give you kind of an overview of where the planets are, where they're going to be moving, and then we're going to go into April, May, and June more specifically. So it's a longer forecast, so you're welcome to break it up or grab a cup of tea and enjoy the ride with me here. So backing up a minute, in March, at the end of Q1, we had two major planets change signs, right? We had Saturn moving into Pisces and Pluto moving into Aquarius. And so these two shifts were kind of on the heels of these two major shifts. It almost has the energy of like the boat pushed off the dock and we're kind of sailing into this new territory in a couple of different ways. And as a broader overview, in April, I really feel like we're going to be called in a new direction. I feel like some of your North stars are shifting, right? Like some of your sense of purpose, what you want to do with your life. I feel like some of that is really starting to change and it's coming into focus for you in a new way. And I'm going to explain why. And then in May, we have one of the biggest astrological transits of the year. Plus, we're all excited about Jupiter moving into Taurus. And so May is a good time for a financial reboot and a physical health reboot. So recommitting to your health and your wealth in May. Also, there's a really interesting new moon going on in May. And I feel like you're kind of in this zone of being able to build something that is lasting a lifetime. So really big pivot, starting something new, creating a new foundation for the next several years of your life. June maybe is the time when we start to fine tune and restructure. And that can be fun and exciting, and it can be uncomfortable, and it can be all of the above. So here are your important dates to watch in Q2. The best dates, circle these as optimal times: April 24th, May 13th through 15th, and June 28th, okay? Every day is a good day for a good day, but if you need to be aware of some days to take caution, like maybe you don't want to schedule major life-changing events around this time, right? The pivotal days to watch in the media and also to take caution and go slow are going to be April 3rd and 20th, May 17th, June 11th and 25th. And I also want you to circle April 20th and May 5th because there are significant eclipses those days. And I'm going to save the eclipse information for a whole other episode, but I am going to list them when we get to them, but I just want you to be able to circle those dates and be aware that they're coming. Okay, so what's happening in Q2 is that the Sun and Mercury are going to move through Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer. Of course, Mercury will take a little retrograde cycle April 21st through May 15th, so be aware of that. Venus is a little ahead of the Sun and Mercury. So Venus will be traveling through Gemini, Cancer, and Leo. She will be moving onto a retrograde period July 23rd through September 4th. Mars is moving from Gemini, finally, thank God, sorry, into Leo. Not sure if that's going to be much better, but Mars is moving from Gemini into Leo, and we are approaching the season where both Neptune and Pluto will start their retrograde cycles. So that should give you a little bit of information about the forecast of what we're going to be talking about. Now I want to shift gears and move into April of 2023. So the April intention is I experience balance, harmony, and reciprocity in myself and in all of my experiences. And I wrote it that way because in April, the numerology shifts into a 2-month and a 7-year. So the 2-month is all about relationships, connections, the relationship you have with yourself, the relationship between this world and the next, connecting the seen and the unseen, creating more harmonious interactions, balance, right, and reciprocity. There's a give and a take with the 2 frequency in April. The challenging side of the 2 is we can go back into our old people-pleasing behaviors. And I know none of you are going to do that. We're not going to be in this codependent pattern anymore, right? But you might see it more easily out there in the world, right? So be aware of that. The 7-year is all about our spiritual introspection. We're learning about our spiritual side. We're recommitting to our spiritual practices, right? And so this could be spiritual practices that you have with a significant other. This could be spiritual practices recommitting yourself to your higher power. There's lots of ways for those frequencies to work beautifully together. And it's really an opportunity to see some of the lessons of yourself through the lens of another person. How you are in relationship is really how you are, right? How you are with your finances is how you are with your lover. If you don't believe me, go make a list of how you treat your money and then see how you're feeling treated. There's some interesting correlations one could find if they went searching, right? Okay. So at the beginning of April, Mercury is going to enter Taurus. Mercury will be in Taurus, April 3 through June 11. This is a time when we want to practice quieting the mind. Taurus, Mercury rules the way that we think, the way that we communicate, the way that we understand things. And Taurus is slow rolling, right? Can be very stubborn sometimes too. I'm only going to see things this way, right? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe that's helpful. Maybe it's not. But that's the energy of it. Taurus is much more practical, conservative, down to earth, realistic, what's real, and Mercury, it's like we can get those blinders on with Mercury and Taurus where we're very stubborn. We can only see it this one way. And so to be aware of some of those tendencies and be like, oh, is that helping me or not, right? And work with the energy either way. Mercury, as it moves into Taurus, will then square Pluto on April 3rd. And to me, that's a bit of a caution light thing going on. I feel like Mercury, again, ruling the way that we think and understand things, and Pluto are deep transformation, deep power, deep shadow work, things like this. I have this AI thing that comes on. I'm just going to remove from the meeting. There we go. So I was talking about Mercury squaring Pluto, and there being some caution lights around this time too. So misrepresentation, misunderstanding, some kind of deception. If things look too good to be true, they probably are. And so Mercury and Taurus can help you just wait it out and get more information over time. If you're having a hard time learning something, just give yourself lots of repetition, practice over time. It's not a really ideal time for travel with Mercury squaring Pluto. It's not a really ideal time for important decisions because you're likely to see another point of view quickly after you make that decision. So just always follow your strategy and authority when you're making decisions and you'll be safe. But Mercury squaring Pluto, easing into April. As soon as that releases, Mercury is going to sextile Saturn. So there's good news on April 5th. Mercury and Saturn work together really well, especially in a sextile. It's a good time to rely on mentors, to offer a mentorship. Let's say that you have a business and you're offering some kind of apprenticeship, this type of stuff would work. These are opportunities when the student becomes the teacher and the teacher humbles themselves and learns something from the student. Saturn helps us come across like an authority during this time. So if you need to be the leader of your field or the leader of your business or the leader of your household or the leader of yourself, right? This is a time when you can come across with more authority. I feel like it's also a good time to study your lineage, your family lineage, your ancestry. It's a good time to spend time with people that are older and wiser and have something to share. Saturn helps us with the long-term picture. And so if you're trying to negotiate long-term deals or look into the future, this is an optimal moment to work with the energy, right? This Mercury sextile Saturn actually happens a lot this year. So April 5th is the first one, but it also comes back May 12th, May 19th, December 2nd, December 21st. That's in the blog at wiseskiescollective.com. So don't worry if you're missing all of the dates, right? You can always just go back to the blog and see the dates. Also on April 5th, while we have this good mentorship, studying, learning, older, wiser energy coming in, the sun is going to conjunct Chiron. It's called a cazimi when the sun is right next to, or another planet is in the heart of the sun. And so there's some value going on with witness mentality, with observing life rather than feeling it all. Your lessons in Chiron, right, these are the important healing moments throughout your life that you have needed in order to learn some lesson, in order to create your medicine bag and give that to the next person who's also going through the same healing patterns and processes. The Buddha said, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. So Sun conjunct Chiron, embrace your own healing of your own heart, polishing the mirror of your heart. Do some yoga, do some meditation, do some breath work. You can read more about Cazimi in our blog, and I'll link that article below. Okay, Mercury is going to conjunct the North Node on April 6th. This is a great time for teamwork, to notice who's showing up in your life, who wants to collaborate, who wants to work with you, who do you want to work with, and how can you forward a cause, what's wanting to happen through you and other people together. Now there's a full moon also that day at 16 degrees of Libra. So April 6th, 12:34 a.m. Central Time. See the cat walking by. Full moon in Libra, relationship illumination. Matches the frequency of the two this month, doesn't it, right? Your intention for the Libra full moon is, I feel balanced inside and out. That's an easy one, right? Even if you don't, you can just proclaim it. I feel balanced inside and out. I feel balanced inside and out, right? So what needs to pivot in your relationships? Libra rules partnerships, integrity, fairness. It's time to balance the scales in some way. And the full moon is a good time to celebrate your progress, to see how far you've come. Of course, we talk about the full moon in terms of a broader 2.5-year lunar family cycle. It is the third piece of information in 4 bullet points of this lunar family cycle. So the Libra moon family story started on October 6th of 2021. A new cycle began. Something was cooked up, something was conjured up. What were your prayers and wishes and intentions around early October of 2021? And then July 7th of 2022, something was put into gear with these wishes and intentions and subconscious desires. Now on April 6th of 2023, you can pivot. More is revealed under this full moon. Energy is high, tides are high, blood flow is high, right? More is seen. There's more light. We can see things differently and make some adjustments, right? It's not all about closure. We talk so much about closure and endings with a full moon, but really it's because we can see what needs to change in order to have this sense that the mission is complete. The mission will be complete January 4th of 2024. You like that airline stewardess, like 2024, exit here on that one. Okay, just a heads up that Mercury will be in shadow. So Mercury is entering a shadow phase before it goes retrograde every time. Mercury will be in shadow April 7th through 21st, and this is giving you clues for what is pivoting under this full moon. So you want to pay attention. If there's communication breakdowns, awesome. If there's barriers to understanding each other, awesome. Especially in the topics of food, finance, physical health, things that relate to this Taurian theme. These are clues for what you need to reassess, adjust, tweak, and pivot something important. So just be aware of that. Venus is going to sextile Neptune on April 7th. And for those of my friends who are very creative or looking for an opportunity to just have some downtime and be in a creative space, around April 7th is a nice time to work with. Venus rules our luxury and our beauty and our receptivity and our connection to the feminine. Neptune is more of the creative bliss yoga teacher where we blend things. Neptune dissolves, Neptune fades away. And so there can be this feeling like you're just lost in your music or lost in your creativity. It can be a good time if you want to read a new book or get lost in a new series of some kind. Neptune also has this compassionate philanthropic vibe, and Venus, of course, rules not only beauty and luxury, but our money and our values. And so if you're trying to raise money for a cause, hopefully it's a good one, around April 7th would be a nice time to launch that. Neptune likes to escape. So this could also be a time when you're looking for a romantic getaway. Okay, now April 8th, there's an interesting thing going on. Mercury sextile Mars. I'm calling it power writing, okay? And I actually wrote all of the transits for writers in our blog. So if you are a writer, if you want to write something in 2023, I have listed all of the very important, interesting dates that I think are going to be really good for writers, whether it's editing, rewriting, publishing, launching, marketing, all of that I've listed in a blog post at wiseskiescollective.com. But what's going on April 8th will come back on April 23rd and June 21st. And so Mercury sextile Mars, Mercury, the way that we think, understand, write, communicate, and learn, in a positive position with Mars, that which fuels and energizes and creates passion, right, as a fire starter in our life. And so This can be where you have really decisive thinking, really clear thinking, really forward thinking. It can be a time when you can just write a whole lot out, just get that ugly first draft out. You can process large amounts of information. It might just be a day where you're flooded with texts and emails and calls. I don't know. But I want you to, if you are a content creator, to generate a ton of content April 8th, 23rd, and June 21st. So keep that in mind. Around this time of the month, Venus is now going to move from Taurus into Gemini, April 10th through May 7th. So a long, nice window here. Venus, right, in Gemini, this can create this subtle vibe in the background that you're feeling like caught in the middle. There can be some triangulation on the negative side. There can be a push-pull dynamic of feeling this way, but that way at the same time, especially with our love and our money. So Venus is kind of flirty in Gemini. So you might notice that there's this social butterfly aspect that you're feeling. But just know this, if you feel unclear on the inside, it's going to show up on the outside world. And you're going to look at that and think it's like a message from the universe. It's not a message from the universe. It's you being unclear, right? So you use this time to get clear on what you really want. Don't go back and forth so much. If you are going back and forth a ton, Gemini rules the way that our communications and talking and getting chatty can help. Not always, but if you are unclear and you have a solution and you can take it to a trusted closed mouth friend who won't go blab your problems out there and spread them like seeds of disease, right? If you could come to them with a solution and say, I really want to talk this through, that can be a very healing thing, to hear yourself, to hear your solutions, right? So know that. Venus is going to trine Pluto, and then Jupiter is going to be in Cazimi with the sun. So Jupiter will be in the heart of the sun on April 11th. And this is a time of magnetism. This is new life in relationships. This is hearts wide open as the world. This is accessing the magic of the heart. This is finding, the juiciness of life, the suppleness of life, right? Again, we have a really awesome article by our friend Sasha Boyle about Cazimi on the blog. Okay, so enjoy all that juicy magnetism around the 11th, because come the 14th, Venus is going to square Saturn in April. And so Venus, this idea of relationships and finances and things like this in a combative or challenging position to Saturn, where we have discipline and rules and boundaries, I feel like around the 14th, you're going to have a lot more responsibility, and you might be prone to overcommit yourself, right? So don't overcommit yourself with time, expenses, people, things like this. Adjust your attitude about the responsibilities that you have to take on, that you have no control over, right? Can you turn it into like your greatest service work and your greatest devotion work, instead of something that weighs you down or holds you back, or you know what I mean, all of those things that we go through with our thoughts. And Saturn rules our elders too. So it could be that you're needing to be in service to some elders in your community. And can you do that with love and grace, right? All right, the sun is going to move into Taurus April 20th through May 21st. So happy birthday, all of our Taurus friends. Love you so much. The strength of the skies is here to stabilize all of us. And so we're looking for something to, what is the most stabilizing thought we can have? How can we recommit to our health and our physical bodies and our food and all of those things? That's going to translate really well into May. So you might as well get on track with it while the sun has just freshly moved into Taurus, April 20th through May 21st. Also on the 20th, as the sun moves into Taurus, it will be in a square or 90-degree angle to the planet Pluto. And this is something that I describe as breakdowns in order to break through. So pack your patience, avoid the temptation to force issues and opinions and power plays and power struggles. Try to go slow and don't stop before the miracle happens, of course. The miracle being, let's see, look at the new moon is what's next, also on April 20th. So April 20th is one of those like supercharged days. I think that you're going to feel a lot on April 20th. The new moon eclipse is at 29 degrees of Aries on April 20th at 12:12 a.m. Central Time. This is an expansive personal new journey. The new moon eclipse intention is, I embrace my light and my highest potential in this life. Do you want to embrace your light and your highest potential in this life, right? Wow. So new moon eclipse in Aries, right? The sign that rules the self, illumination of the self, right? The journey of the self to the self through the self, right? The yoga, right? So What's cool about this eclipse is that Jupiter and the North Node are conjunct this eclipse. Jupiter, the planet of expansion and wealth and growth and abundance and long journeys, right? Long journeys. This eclipse, this is pivotal moments of self-expansion with Jupiter and the North Node there. Uranus is conjunct Mercury in the skies, and Mars is sextile Mercury in the skies. And I think you're going to have lots of aha moments of insight if you're seeking, if you're looking for the signs and synchronicities, see what shows up that day. Pluto is going to square this eclipse, so there's going to bring an intensity, there's going to bring a moodiness, maybe a moodiness over what's lost. And I would just encourage you to feel all the way through that if that's coming up, because there's a beautiful new adventure ahead. You can look at this like the Eight of Cups in Tarot. The Eight of Cups, it's like walk away and don't look back. There can be a time of grief, but you could also translate it as beautiful. Look at the beautiful path ahead and look at all of the life and rebirth experience that is coming from the death and the loss, right? So shifting your focus with this new moon. It's a new 2.5-year cycle with this eclipse. A lot of times eclipses, we can't predict exactly how they're going to play out, but we can look back and be like, that's the eclipse story. That's what was happening. That's the personal renewal that was going on. So this new 2.5-year cycle, right? You want to study what house you have 29 degrees of Aries. Okay. So what house where 29 degrees of Aries in, that will give you another layer, another tidbit, a piece of information about how this eclipse is going to affect you personally. And if you don't know what the houses means, we have a great free handout. I'm happy to email that to you. You can find it on our website too. All right. The Sabian symbol for this eclipse is the duck pond and its brood. All right. The Sabian symbol. The Moon family story starts on April 20th, a new cycle. You might not have to like proclaim something. It might be something subconscious that's brewing in you. It will kick into gear in January of 2024. More will be revealed in October of 2024. And the mission will be complete in 2025. So something that's kind of brewing now, that's eclipsing in your life, right? That's going to be an interesting story that's unfolding over the next 2.5 years. Right behind this new moon on the 21st is when Mercury retrogrades in Taurus. And so we're all going to need a little extra patience and flexibility, especially around communication, travel, computers, electronics, things like this. And so we just want to be patient and readjust, pivot, tweak, anything with the re's during retrograde, revise, readjust, redo, right? All of these things. Mercury will go direct on May 15th, and it will exit its post-retrograde shadow on June 1st. So this is kind of a longer period that we're looking at. It's going to sextile, Mercury's going to sextile Mars on April 23rd, and that's your second opportunity to get some of that power writing in that I talked about, generating a ton of content. On the 24th, the North Node will be in Cazimi, right? So it'll be in the heart of the sun. And so April 24th, the universe has your back. Follow the green lights, pay attention to the yeses, and be ready to move forward and say, yes, this is why I feel like in April, you're feeling that new sense of purpose. Something is pulling you in a new direction. Pay attention on April 24th. On April 25th, your hard work pays off. So keep going. The sun is going to sextile Saturn. Personal development, things like chiropractic, dental appointments are favorable with good Saturn transits. Is it a good time to ask for a raise? Is it a good time to add some responsibility to your task list? Just be mindful of what you're taking on and what you're needing to let go of so that you have more room for stuff in May and June. Okay. And just a reminder that Saturn is also Lord Karma, the karmic boomerang. I think I'm going to pause the recording while the ringing is going on. Cool. I unplugged the phone for a minute. So let's see. I was just talking about Saturn and karma, and whatever's coming back around to you originated from you. And so there can be some self-correction if you don't like what you see going on out there. Venus is going to sextile Chiron on the 25th of April, open to love, go on a date, healing relationships, opportunities for more positive collaborations are coming your way. Your mantra is open hands, open heart on April 25th. And then on the 27th, Mars is going to square Chiron. And so you're going to have some perseverance. You're going to have to go through some faith building activities. There can be challenging issues, especially with Mars around men in your life. Important men may pop up in some way. And, there can be some unhealed friction out there in the field. And so you just want to be aware of that. If you notice it, you can always use the Ho'oponopono prayer, right? I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And that's directed to yourself and to others, but it's like a private, quiet, intimate thing that you can say. At the end of April, you're seeing the situation clearly. Mars is going to sextile Uranus. You're pedal to the metal. You're ready to be spontaneous. You're ready to be impulsive. And that can be a good thing sometimes. So, especially with all that Taurian, slow paced energy, I feel like you're going to get a couple of bursts throughout the month. And that's when I mentioned those power writing things. And then also on April 29th, where it's like, boom, energy. Okay. Now I'm scrolling to May. So let's shift gears and move into May of 2023. So the May intention is I'm inspired by creativity, clarity, and connection. I feel a renewed sense of charisma and purpose throughout the month and easily stay focused on the tasks that are most important to my highest calling. The May numerology shifts from a 2 to a 3. You noticed I used all the C words, right? There's connection, creativity, communication, charisma with the 3. This is a good month to write, to draw, to tap into your childlike wonder and your most creative mindset. You want to be careful again to not overcommit or overdo it because it's very extroverted energy. And I think you're going to want to play a lot. That's good. Have some time to play, just have some time to rest too. Maybe play hard, work hard, right? Pluto's going to be retrograde May 1st through October 11th. This is a normal part of the Pluto cycle. But what's kind of interesting here is that, Pluto moved into Aquarius in March of 2023, and it's going to spend about 20 years in Aquarius revamping things that have to do with our like outdated systems with technology, outdated systems with the tribe, with the collective, with human consciousness, things like this. But as it moved in there, right, there's always going to be this struggle with breaking down the old Capricornian themes, okay? And so she moved in, or Pluto moved in to Aquarius in March, but there's this retrograde period that's going to take it back into Capricorn for a while. And so some of you are going to be like, well, I thought you said Pluto was in Aquarius. It is, it's just doing this dance. And so there's a list of dates with this forward and retrograde motion where it's going back and forth for a little while. So Pluto retrogrades May 1st to October 11th. It's going to dip back into Capricorn on June 11th. June 11th is a big day. I'm really curious to see what's going on that day in the media and in my clients' lives. So Pluto direct helps us face the challenges outside. Pluto retrograde helps us face the challenges inside. And so this is why the axiom that everybody's going through a battle that you know nothing about applies for most of the year, every year, as Pluto is in that cycle. So you're facing some, of these personal challenges, and it's helping you to polish who you are becoming. It's not something that you're going to notice like a bang. It's just this slow kind of frequency in the background. Also on May 1st, kind of interesting because Mercury will be in the heart of the sun, a Cazimi. There's going to be some information wizardry going on. So listen for downloads, look for bright ideas, look for good news. This is a time when you can get clarity. This is a time when you have focused communication where things feel efficient. Mercury is retrograde, so you might also be considering what kind of memories that you're making. You might really be focused on what needs to be reworked and it comes out better than before, more powerful than before, right? I love to just get a first draft out and be done with it. But if I will sit with it and rework it, wow, it can be a really powerful piece, right? Now, easing into that first week of May, because on the 4th, there's going to be some false securities going on. Venus squares Neptune on May 4th. And so you can feel a little bit more impressionable. You can feel like you can see the potential in something instead of what's actually there. And so just trying to be real with yourself. You might feel tempted to really roll the dice, but it's not actually a good time. So just be careful, go slow. There might be some false securities around that time. Also, the full moon eclipse is in 14 degrees of Scorpio at May 5th at 1:33 p.m. Central Time. This full moon eclipse at 14 degrees Scorpio, where is 14 degrees Scorpio in your chart? What is changing? What's illuminated? This is an illumination of the big changes and transformations that you've gone through in your life. The eclipse intention is I choose healthy attitudes, behaviors, and experiences with integrity and honesty. Scorpio rules sex, death, and taxes, right? It rules the deepest human bonds. You might notice your spidey senses are up. You might notice that you're a little bit more psychic, or that you're developing psychically rapidly, right? So give yourself plenty of breathing room during this eclipse period. I want to have a separate chat about these eclipses, but I want you to know that they're very powerful, intense, interesting cycles this year. And so, Scorpio is an executor. And so you can also be setting intentions around your ability to execute or finish projects. You can have some closure around addictions or unhealthy obsessions. You can wrap things up that just aren't really good for you. You know what I mean? Under the light of the full moon, it's time to face the music, make some adjustments, and make your pivots. The Scorpio moon family story started November 4th of 2021. Kicked into gear August 5th of 2022. More is revealed right now on the May 5th illumination. And then February 2nd of 2024 is when the mission will be complete. So, wow, that's a lot of information I've been giving you, right? Venus is going to move into Cancer on May 7th through June 5th. This is the home vibe, the nesting vibe. Keep asking yourself how you feel. You might notice some time, you need some crab time to escape and back up and unplug. You might notice that you want to be around the water more, May 5th through June 7th. Uranus will be in Cazimi with the sun on May 9th, and there's some aha moments. There's extra energy, and so you can work with it. If you've been a little down or confused or baffled by all of the eclipses, I feel like May 9th is this moment of clarity where things can really start to make sense for you. It is a really positive transit, and it's full of energy, right? And everything's just energy anyways. Like, I was thinking about that this morning. I could write another book and just and my one sentence would be everything's energy, So Mercury is going to sextile Saturn again on May 12th. We had this back on April 5th, and this is the one where I was talking about mentorship. The student becomes a teacher. The teacher humbles themselves to learn something from the student, things like this. Mercury is going to sextile Venus on May 12th. Okay, now we're getting into like wedding season. And so if anybody's out there like trying to get married this year or trying to look for some good astrological transits for love and relationships, Mercury sextile Venus on May 12th. This is harmony, flow, good communications. It's a good day to shop the sales. It's a good day to find deals, especially at like vintage markets, garage sales, estate sales, things like this. When you say yard sale, I think of like having an accident on the boat, like where we ski and everything goes crazy. So I'm like doing that in my mind right now. But anyways, love letters, May 12th, May 13th, commitments and love. Venus is going to trine Saturn. You're probably making some headway with some of your long-term relationships, goals, and plans. So commitments and love, May 13th. May 15th, you can really find some more inspiration. Mars trines Neptune. This is like a really beautiful time to be ignited, to be in love, to get away from the grind. The desire to escape, to meditate, to be somewhere else is really strong. And love is a great outlet for that. It can be a drug, right? Mercury will go direct in Taurus on the 15th too. And so I feel like, it's going to be in retro shade through June 1st, but you're still working on what needs to be renegotiated, but it feels so much better because everything's more clear at this point. Things are more stable, right? The longer we're in this Taurian season. And then Jupiter is going to enter Taurus, the moment we've been waiting for, right? May, 16th through next May of 2024. So for a year, Jupiter, the cosmic magnifying glass that makes things bigger, that gives us overseas travels, that gives us an understanding, a new horizon, a new understanding, a new philosophy, a belief system that makes things more juicy, right? And giant is moving into Taurus. This is hope in the areas of abundance, right? In the areas of food and finance, real estate, soil regeneration, things that have to do with Mother Earth. luxury items, right? Like I was seeing that there's this uptick in like people that live with their parents buying luxury bags, luxury like they're spending more money on these luxury items because they're saving money by living at home. And so this uptick in investing in kind of these more luxury items is going on. I think you're going to see more of that. So Jupiter also rules our loyal and wise teachers. And so it could be a time when you start a field or you start to study with somebody who is taking you through the course over a long period of time, over a year of study. And so I love that Jupiter's moving into Taurus. It's going to be an economic upturn for people for about a year. It's going to be a good time financially. We're going to have more prosperity. I feel really good about it. But as that's happening, it's off to a rocky start because Jupiter squares Pluto on May 17th. This is the only significant outer planet transit all year long. Guys, we have been through some serious years the last couple of years. Lots of outer planet transits and aspects that shook us. This is the only one. So if it's really, really bad, we're going to make it through because it's just the one. If it's really, really good, awesome, we'll take it. Jupiter squaring Pluto's, I feel like we're moving mountains. We're moving mountains of moods, right? Mountains of power, mountains of things that rule Pluto. So integrity, honesty are going to be really important to get from point A to point B. And so you can do things like just being honest. You know, if I'm honest with myself and with you, this is how I'm feeling about this situation. And not being afraid to say something because it's going to turn into a volcano out there, and just letting the volcano happen, being the witness to the volcano, not feeling the volcano, right? This is there's an intensity to break out of an old structure, and it requires energy to move forward. And so I think you're going to feel that around the 17th. Maybe a month before, maybe a month after, like there's a blending of energy. It's going to peak on the 17th. So as soon as that releases, there is good news behind it. On the 18th, the sun sextiles Neptune. Dreams are coming true. Reach for your dream journals. Just ask for solutions in your dream. Learn more about dreams. Realize that dreaming and meditating are the first steps in becoming way more psychic. And so you are dreaming. And so it's like that connection, that desire to learn from them, which represents the day before and the subconscious washing itself of the day before. Start to study and play with those in a new way. Let's see. This is the third and final time we've got that Mercury sextile Saturn on May 19th, where we've got the mentorship. The student becomes the teacher humbles himself to become the student on May 19th. There's also a new moon in Taurus on May 19th. I feel like this is going to be a good one. Feel like it's going to have illumination around your physical body, your sense of health and wellness, your sense of security. Your intention is, I feel safe and secure. I trust my body to take me to and through correct experiences. Okay, I'm going to say that again. I feel safe and secure, and I trust my body to take me to and through correct experiences. That's powerful. New moon, 28 degrees of Taurus. Find that in your chart. Learn more about the house it's in. It's happening on May 19th at 11:53 a.m. Central Time. So planting seeds and wishes around your body, money, your diet, perseverance, feeling grounded, letting go of stubbornness, learning things over time, letting it take the time it takes now so it takes less time later. The Sabian symbol is two cobblers working at a table. This new moon family story illuminates a larger cycle that started back on May 19th of 2023. Starts now on May 19th of 2023 and will culminate over 4 moons that end in August of 2025. Mars is entering Leo right now, so May 20th through July 10th. This is about our creative self-expression. Being you makes an impact, right? Being me makes an impact, right? Like there is an impact, there is a transformation on the other side of you. Mars in Leo, we need to use some discernment when we're self-promoting. There is a time, there is an audience, there is a place, right? So know your audience, know who you're speaking to, look at who's inviting you. Were you invited to share anything anyways? There's that. Talk to the people that are seeing the real you and getting the real vibe and want more information from you, and work with them. Mars, as it enters Leo, will oppose Pluto. And so May 20th, you're going to need to be very strategic, before you focus your energy. If you think about Mars, like that ball with the rod and the point coming out of it, Mars needs to focus energy into something, right? Pluto is about purpose and power. And so are you using your time here wisely? Do you want to experiment with directing your full focus, your full amount of power, your full mind, body, spirit on something? It is a potent time for focusing your energy for something that you want to change or something that you want to heal, right? Watch The Healer on Netflix. Charlie, is it Goldsmith or Goldstein? I always mix those up. Australian guy. He knows how to do that. Very powerful. The sun will enter Gemini May 21st through June 21st. So happy birthday, Geminis. We can all tap into our friendly, intelligent, social butterfly, multitasking, curious vibes while the sun is in your sign. While the sun enters Gemini, it will then trine Pluto. And so this is just another layer of becoming yourself, more renewal, more upgrade, more positive change. And know this, whatever isn't evolving in your life is dissolving, and that's good. So standing in both your light and darkness towards the end of May so that you can fully become yourself, right? More and more and more you than you've ever been. It feels good getting into your body. The self-improvement vibes continue on the 22nd. Sun is going to sextile Mars. There's an energy boost, forward momentum, healthy self-competition. I was watching that show that Jason Momoa and the climber, it's called The Climb, right? And it's like a climbing competition. I think it's on Netflix. I don't remember which one hosts it. But there's I just watching it, first of all, I am really into high intensity sports. That terrifies me. I have no interest in being a climber or going to a rock gym. Put me on a bull, put me in the ocean, I'll do some crazy stuff. Really don't want to fall off a big rock. Yeah, I'll go hiking, but I don't want to be hanging out. Anyways, the idea here is that in this, it was really apparent to me that these guys, they're not competing against each other. They're only competing against themselves and their ability. Right. And so it's almost like there's no way you could really feel bad about like losing a competition, because you're never really losing the competition. You're just improving your skills and bettering yourself. And so this self-improvement of Sun sextile Mars, right? You're always just competing with yourself. And there's a reminder here, do you want to be better? And the only person that you need to be better than is the you that you were yesterday, right? So you're going to have that extra energy. So don't overdo it on a coffee or adrenaline type stuff. I'm a beekeeper, right? So when I go out to check bees, no coffee. I don't need that extra jolt of stuff going into a potentially dangerous situation. It's not dangerous. It's just, you don't need the extra, like you're already in a situation. So just go with cool, calm, clarity, and confidence, and you're going to do great. May 23rd, I feel like that energy that you're putting into yourself and your self-improvement, you're going to see that there are things worth fighting for. And, there are things that aren't, right? And so know your battles on the 23rd. Mars squares Jupiter. On the 24th, Venus squares Chiron. You're going to be rewiring your heart at some level. So I want you to pay attention to the messages that the relationships are giving you, that they've been telling you from April on into May, right? So Venus square Chiron, sometimes this transit shows us who we need to say goodbye to or what part of us needs to mature. Okay. So just know that there's some rewiring of our relationships going on around May 24th. And on the 26th, I want you to leave a little room in your schedule for surprises. It's a great energy to entertain, to find unique deals, to find unique connections, to find like, oh, that was a surprising occurrence. Be in the right place at the right time without even trying, things like this. Surprise yourself. Venus is sextile Uranus, Mars squares the nodes May 26th. Now, at the end of May, the last transit is that the sun will square Saturn. This is about steady progress. This is about letting setbacks be blessings in disguise. This helps us reset to divine timing instead of our timing. And boy, did I have a lesson in that from November to March. I had something that I wanted to happen on Tiffany time that did not happen on Tiffany time. It happened in divine timing. And it wasn't about the thing I wanted to happen. It was about the relationships, the lessons I learned, all of the people I talked to along the way in this particular aspect of my life that I wanted to happen the way I wanted it to happen, right? So we're all continuing to learn that life is happening from us, not to us, that we're here to reset to divine time, or sometimes I call it island time, right? And that's okay, that we're not in control of everything, and that's okay. So let's pause and shift gears. If you need a little bio break, right? We are moving into June of 2023. So let's discuss the astrology of June of 2023. The June intention is that it feels good to experience clarity and consistency on a regular basis. I trust the process that is unfolding through me. I believe in progress, not perfection. In June, the numerology shifts. I was trying to combine those shifts to a 4-month in a 7-year. So April was a 2, May was a 3, June is a 4-month, and 4 is about finding that stability that all of the lessons of the Taurian season brought us, right? So the 4-month, what can you declutter? What can you focus on? Where can you not lose your focus? I call it focus. Get things in order on the home front, clean out a drawer, it'll clear your mind up. It's amazing what can happen. So anything that is overcomplicating your life, triggering anxiety, be willing to do the hard work of cleaning it up, being honest, looking at it, cleaning it up. Don't let the garage go another summer looking like that. Get it cleaned up and organized. So there are things this month that you can really maximize your time and your future by developing more efficient processes, protocols, procedures. This is your month to fine tune, okay? Mercury is out of shadow at the beginning of June. It will be in, it will be in retrograde again, August 23rd through September 15th. Just a heads up on that. As we start May, Jupiter's conjunct North Node and Mercury in the skies. This is another one of those moments where it really feels like the universe has your back. It feels like a kiss from a fairy godmother. Feels like a big move. Feels like destiny is bringing something in for you. It feels like the course of your life is continuing to change in a brilliant, beautiful new direction. Venus is going to try Neptune on June 2nd. It's okay to eat dessert first. It's okay to feel love. It's okay to receive it, work your magic, put on the rose-colored glasses, allow yourself a mini escape, treat yourself. Mercury conjuncts Uranus on the 4th, and this is a time to experiment. The energy really favors a meeting of the minds, communication flows, out-of-the-box thinking is necessary. This could be a great day for a team meeting to discuss ideas. Now, also, I put this out of order. June 3rd, full moon, 11:41 p.m. Central Time. Truth illumination, okay? The full moon is in Sagittarius, 13 degrees. Sagittarius rules adventure, having fun. Your intention is, I expand my horizons through adventures that light me up. Sagittarius rules publishing and teaching and the magic carpet ride and foreign languages and foreign affairs and foreign cooking, right? And so you can set intentions to putting an end, right? Full moon, putting an end to something, pivoting something that needs to come to a place of closure soon around the Sagittarian bad behaviors, the excesses, the BS, the things like this. You could put an end to some travel plans that have been up in the air. You could put an end to finishing a course of study that you've been working on forever, right? I have one in mind. I don't want to say it out loud because if I say it, I'm going to have to actually do it. I'm not sure I want to do it yet. Sagittarius rules the court, right? The law, right? And so there could be some lawsuits that are wrapping up for some of you guys too. So under the light of the full moon, it's time to face some facts, make some adjustments and reflect on what you are seeing at this time. You're not missing anything. Your life is happening in real time. The Sagittarius moon family story started on December 4th of 2021 and will complete in March 3rd of 2024. So Venus, let's talk about Venus. What's she doing? In June, she's shifting into Leo. And so Leo, she'll be in Leo from June 5th all the way until October 8th. So this is a beautiful time to shine your love light. This is a time to this is when you just want to sing from the rooftops that you're in love, or that you love your job, or that you love your life. This is the performer and the sign of beauty and finances and values, right? Where can you pet people with your affection while Venus is in Leo? We all deserve what? More unconditional love, not less. You've heard me say it because one of my spiritual teachers says it all the time. So thank you to Adrienne Cobb at My Wild Magic. We all deserve more unconditional love, not less. And Venus in Leo helps us express that and receive it too. So just as Venus moves into Leo, she's going to square the nodes. She's going to oppose Pluto. So around June 5th through 8th, you're going to be feeling some relationship pivots. You're going to be feeling some heat, some intensity. You want to be careful with intense interactions. You want to let some time pass. You want to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, as Kenny Rogers sung about. It's going to be okay. It's just going to be, there's an intensity to those days that's worth noting. Or that I felt was worth noting. Maybe it'll slide right by you. I don't know. On the 9th, June 9th, this is one of those beautiful times for creativity, intuition, and psychic work. Mercury is going to sextile Neptune. And so it's a really auspicious time to use your imagination to really get up in the morning and visualize your day, visualize it going well, visualize you doing well in your day. This is a way that you can be creative. It's not just about art projects. It's about using your mind smartly, right? Use the Silva method, right? It really does work. Sun is going to sextile Chiron on June 10th. That's very healing mojo. That is looking for an opportunity to help someone. That's an opportunity to be of service. Maybe somebody's going through something and you can just be that helper. You don't have to do it every day, but maybe this is a day where you can show up and be one of the helpers. And here we are, June 11th. So much is going on. I circled this as a day to be aware of because of the challenging energy that is restructuring things for us. Retrograde Pluto is going to boop back into Capricorn for a while, right? Old structures crumbling. Why? Because new forms are wanting to be birthed. And so we are renovating things as a society, as a global culture that aren't working. And so it's a significant change in our society, in our culture, and in our technology. We are becoming better stewards of technology. We are becoming better stewards in our communities. Pluto was in Capricorn breaking things down since 2008 and entered Aquarius in March, where it'll stay for 20 years. It's just sliding back into Capricorn momentarily, starting on June 11th. I have the details of all of those dates if you want to Astro geek out with me. So let's see, Mercury is going to trine Pluto on the 11th, and this puts us in this fact-finding mission where it's a good time to write, research, discover things, uncover things, hiring psychics and private investigators for things. The same day, Mercury is going to move into Gemini, June 11th through the 26th. A good time to gather information, take classes, get data, take it all in, run an ad campaign, keep conversations rolling, keep learning, get different angles, right? Talking, writing, get involved with the neighborhood activities. Gemini also rules siblings in elementary schools. This could be a focus as well. Still on June 11th, Venus is going to square Jupiter. This is when we have kind of a sweet tooth and it gets out of hand. And so there can be a lot of bittersweet moments. We could be saying goodbye to somebody or something. We could be saying goodbye to some of our old expectations. We could be detaching with love. Venus square Jupiter, overspending and getting carried away. Getting carried away. It's possible that you'll have some unexpected expenses. And so be aware that you might be tapping into some savings, or that you might need to have some savings for days like June 11th, right? You might have some mad money, right? You might just get your money out from under the mattress and go splurge on something and have like this. And it's like, sometimes that retail therapy, those retail therapy moments aren't so bad if you've planned and you've saved a little for these moments like Venus square Jupiter. Okay. Now, all right, so we can move on. Mercury is going to square Saturn on the 15th. And this is when I want you to use your ability to focus, to narrow the options, to fine tune, to take something away so that it's not such a sea of massive options out there. Look at what needs to be eliminated. Look where you need to limit things. Limitations can be really helpful guidelines for us. They don't hurt us, right? Now Saturn is going to retrograde in Pisces June 17th through November 4th. This Saturn in forward motion is about our discipline, our rules, our boundaries, our procedures, right? In retrograde, it can feel like the opposite. It can feel like a mini Jupiter. So some of you, it's like, oh, retrograde. There's not really a bad retrograde cycle. It's just expressing itself oppositely. So if we've got Jupiter in Taurus, we have mini Jupiter or Saturn retrograde in Pisces. Not a bad combo. So what are you feeling free from? Is how I'll put that. Okay. Mercury is going to sextile Venus on June 17th. This is the second time we got that love letter transit. So we have it May 12th and June 17th this quarter. So 2 times to kind of write love letters to each other, be sweet to each other. A good day for communication, harmony, flow, things like this. Also a good day to shop the sales, find the deals. That's not my forte. I'm going to lean on you guys for that one. Now I do feel like you're going to have some lower energy going into the new moon. The new moon is June 18th, 12:36 a.m. Central Time in 26 degrees of Gemini. The sun's going to square Neptune going into it. So if you feel a little unclear, don't worry, just wait for more. Just wait for more. Just wait as long as you can wait. There's going to be a little bit lower, slower energy. The new moon on June 18th, I believe, is Happy Father's Day. So here's your intention. I communicate clearly with integrity, trust my inner voice, and work within divine right timing. I am present. I am present. So planting seeds around Gemini things, learning new skills, doing hobbies with your hands. Gemini rules the hands and the shoulders and the lungs. This phase is about the subconscious things that are influencing us in a new direction for new beginnings, and more will be shown over this moon family story that will culminate or complete in September of 2025. The Sabian symbol is a gypsy coming out of the closet, forest, coming out of the forest closet. A gypsy coming out of the forest is the Sabian symbol. Awesome. That's awesome. Sometimes I'm a gypsy coming out of the forest. You know what I mean? You can just like go away for a while and then come back, and go away for a while and get your forest magic and then come back. And so what does it feel like when the gypsy comes out of the forest? If you're the gypsy, you feel very refreshed and connected to nature and connected to synchronicities. And if you're watching the gypsy come out of the forest, you're waiting for the magic to happen, right? So there's a lot being illuminated for you under this new moon. And even if you've got lower energy, don't worry, it's working in your favor behind the scenes. June 19th, we've got some growing pains going on. So again, that feeling of 1 step forward, 2 steps back, slower energy, but new beginning. Just let things slide, just let it go. Just let it go as much as you can let it go. Jupiter's going to sextile retrograde Saturn, and Venus will be in retrograde is what I'm talking about for you astrology enthusiasts. The sun will move into Cancer June 21st through July 22nd. It feels like a homecoming. Happy birthday to Cancers. We can all tap into those traditional, nurturing, and intuitive Cancer vibes while the sun is in your sign. Home and family is key. Home cooked meals, making the home comfortable, having a homecoming of sorts. June 21st, Mercury is going to sextile Chiron. This is a good time for talk therapy, for aligning the head and the heart, for going deep into your favorite topic, for nerding out on things. Chiron has a bit of that nerd energy that feels isolated, alienated, different, quirky, right? Some of my Chiron activity is beekeeping. It's nerdy, it's quirky, it's different. Why do I do it? I don't know. I like it. So it can be a timing to work with some of those places that our inner nerd really likes, to be inspired by. So maybe I'll be listening to bee podcasts that day, or working with my wax, or making beard oil, or candles, or something fun with the propolis and the wax, right? Maybe I'll be making a split. I could go on. Mars is going to go on to trine Chiron on the 22nd. And this is about the hero's journey. Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug, right? Dire straits. And so just know that, again, we're in that late May. It's still that kind of 2 steps forward, 1 step back dance that we're doing. On the 23rd, many hands make light work. So where can you ask for help and give a little help on June 23rd? Sun sextiles the North Node. Just a few more transits for you here for the end of June. Thanks for hanging with me for so long and looking at the broad scheme of the 3-month cycle. Mercury is going to square Neptune at the end of June. And so I feel like it releases on the 25th. So just know June 20th through 25th, there's some red lights coming on. There are things to be aware of. Things can feel more confusing, more delusional, accidents with water, accidents with drugs, improper medications, just freak accidents in general, toxins, things aren't quite what they seem, misdiagnosis, stuff like this. So just be careful. This transit occurs 3 times in 2023, June 25th, November 27th, December 27th, and know that it's like leading up to that. So the holidays, right? Like be super careful if you like to overindulge in the holiday season, just be super careful this year. Okay. Love you guys. I want you to be safe. And I want you to be aware that right behind that transit is another volatile transit on the 26th where Mars squares Uranus. This is when you forget and you leave an appliance on and something goes crazy at home. This is where the energy is really ripe for mechanical misfiring, electrical currents to get miswired, accidentally leaving the stove on, errors, eruptions, just freakish stuff. So not really ideal for traveling the 20th through 26th. Just be aware, be careful, be safe. Mercury will join the sun in Cancer June 26th through July 10th. Time to recharge the batteries of your heart, right? And so after all of this, like, volatile energy, maybe it like home is where the heart is. Maybe it's like taking time with your family, knowing what's really important to you, reworking some of your things with meal planning, with letting people off the hook, just being very heart-centered and focused on healing, health, and family. And just know that with Mercury in Cancer, there's a lot of nonverbal communication that speaks quite loudly. And so just know that that is a way, people are telling you something with their energy, and you can pick that up too. Okay. Manifestation portal, circle June 28th, harness positive change. The sun is going to trine Saturn. And so hard work, commitment, discipline to yourself, steady action for yourself, constantly communicating well and positively with grace for yourself pays off. This transit with Saturn is also beneficial for dental appointments, chiropractic, things that have to do with teeth and bones and structures. 3 more. Healing, June 29th. Venus is going to trine Chiron. This is a time to say yes, to lean in, to get healing. However you receive healing, right? This could be an emotional thing. This could be a physical thing. This could be a spiritual thing. Great opportune time to lean into some healing. Mercury is going to trine retrograde Saturn on June 30th. This is just working, practicing, organizing, fine-tuning, studying, paying bills, signing deals, making commitments, really practical. This is where it really wraps up that energy of June, where I'm saying like you really need to fine tune. This is where it really starts to come together, and what processes, procedures, and protocols have helped you throughout the month. What do you need to change? This is your time to work through the details of that and practice something new. Maybe you put something new into motion and you didn't keep it organized. It's like, go back, clean it up again, reorganize it again, get it back in order. Okay, the last little tidbit is that Neptune is going to retrograde still in Pisces, June 30th through December 6th, pretty much the rest of the year. This is a normal retrograde cycle, and it's time to be to really work with your imagination. It can be a time of increased psychic awareness. So I absolutely invite you to come enjoy our psychic development classes and learn how you can be more psychic and learn how you can separate your different psychic senses. You are all born wise. You all have senses. They extend into the psychic world, into the non-physical world. So how you taste, how you smell, how you see, how you feel, how you hear things, that can happen at a very subtle level. And understanding your unique way of being psychic is I just love teaching that. I love it. I love helping you understand that. I love seeing you light up. I love hearing your stories about when you were psychic or what you got right. And so I just invite you to come either be part of our membership and enjoy the classes as part of your monthly fee, or to drop in and take a couple classes and see if the vibe is right for you, if I'm the right teacher for you. So that wraps up our Q2 astrology forecast. We made it all the way April, May, and June. I set off the weather app. Can you hear that? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So I set something off here. Okay, that was trippy. So focusing back on wrapping this up, thank you for listening to Q2 astrology with us, April, May, and June. And don't let the astrology hold you up from living your life, right? Like, don't let it majorly dictate the decisions that you're making. Just be aware of the weather that you're living in and go out and enjoy the weather no matter what. If it's raining, you got this. If it's stormy and moody, you got this. If it's bright and beautiful, enjoy it, savor those good, beautiful moments. And, that's kind of it. If you're new to Wise Skies, we are a spiritual development agency. We offer classes and sessions in astrology, human design, and psychic development. We're here for you at wiseskiescollective.com. We would appreciate you following, subscribing, and liking wherever you're listening. And until next time, guys, I'm Tiffany, and it's been my honor to look at the transits for you. And namaste.